Good evening to you.
Thank you.
We are almost at the end of this workshop, and it seems to have been a very intense thing, morning, afternoon, night, but the response seems to have been very rather enthusiastic. How would you rate it?
Well, I think it has been a great success so far. The experience is a unique one, bringing all the deans and department heads together for the first time. Many of them have not met before, and this is a real opportunity to have them engaged in idea generation, looking at the curriculum, how teachers, educators train students, and I think thus far it has been a fabulous success.
This seems to be a rather recent development, getting academics involved in entrepreneurship. They've already started a few startup companies and all, but how do you see this catching on in Malaysia?
Well, I think the reality is that students are the customers of the university.
Yeah.
And students are going to be going into the workforce, and they need the skills to enter that workforce in a prepared fashion. And the experiential opportunities offered by having entrepreneurship integrated into the curriculum, we believe is quite fundamental to a quality education. Too often we learn out of books.
Yes.
And it's very important to recognize that the key ingredient of academic entrepreneurship is this experiential opportunity that is provided by having startup companies, real-world situations that students can engage in and can have the kind of focus, understanding what it's really like to run a business.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurial situations train them in a way that is very unique. It's fast-paced, it changes quite often, and the opportunity that these students are getting through a real-world experience like a startup that covers all facets of business is the real value of the entire program. Too often we think of the startup opportunity in a university as being oriented toward profit. And profit is a good thing, but the opportunity to train students using startups is really the biggest opportunity. And that's where we're spending our time this week, in figuring out how we could use the experience in the curriculum and helping students get that experience that they typically have to wait for until they've been in the workforce for a long time.
You have brought in quite a number of experienced people here to handle this workshop. How did they find the experience of these university leaders who are here? Are they really that enthusiastic?
I'm amazed at how enthusiastic they really are. They have been totally engaged. And I think that the leadership that Tan Sri Sharifa has provided, the vision of how students learn and the experiences that they gain, and the value of taking technology through a process of de-risking before it's actually introduced, the whole opportunity of creating companies that have an integration to the student population and the curriculum That is great foresight. And the management of the university, the deans and department heads that have engaged this week, I think have risen to the challenge.
Yeah.
And have, I believe, worked very, very hard to think through strategically how they could adopt, not only in the engineering and sciences where we first looked for entrepreneurism, but how to integrate the humanities and social sciences into that same experience, so that school-wide we have an opportunity to engage students in these real-world opportunities.
So now that this workshop has been held, what sort of developments do you expect to see in a year or in a couple of years? Or?
Well, I think the main thing that's going to come out of this is the fact that we're talking about it. We're planning. In fact, the end result of this workshop will in fact be a strategic plan, tactically talking about how we accomplish step by step the goal of this experiential opportunity. And much like any challenge to a group of managers, the work that's done as an integrated team in this group has been, I think, the real value. The education part that Stevens provided here is a small part. It's really the work that has been done by the participants that is the greatest value that comes out of any workshop. I explained to them in the very beginning that the workshop means that they have to work. and they have to create the strategy and tactics that is appropriate for Malaysia. Stevens brings some experience that I think is helpful, and the idea that licensing is not the best way of handling university technology. That more success comes from actually introducing, by way of startups, technology to the marketplace. In the United States, technology startups that are driven by universities are 50% more successful at getting a product to market. And they are 10 times more successful in terms of return on investment. And so having some guidelines and tactics that we've implemented at Stevens over the past 15 years, I think got the ball rolling. But it's really the participants here, the follow-through that they will, create within the curriculum and across the university. That's the true benefit of this whole program.
We can understand why UKM has looked to Stevens for this venture, but what has Stevens seen in UKM to want to come forward and work on
we see a
this
partner.
collaboration?
We recognize that the Pacific Rim is an enormous growth area, and we believe that having a partner in this area of the world is an important aspect of any true international strategy. And so when we evaluated where the appropriate partners would be, we looked at Malaysia as a very significant, strategically located area. And our shared research now, it will be driving a lot of the collaborative work between the universities in the future. So, it's joint development, joint business creation that will be the future of our relationship.
So it would seem that this is just a start, one of the
just
steps.
a very early start to what I hope will be a very long and successful relationship for both parties.
Who are the other partners, and in what other parts of the world are you also looking at the same time?
I'm sorry, the other partners in this part of the world?
In this part of the world, elsewhere?
Well, we're trying to, you have to be very selective.
Yeah, correct.
And spreading your resources out, especially as a small university, which Stevens is, very research focused, engineering focused university. And so we look at Malaysia as our single partner in this part of the world.
Okay.
We are not spreading ourselves thin in terms of having multiple opportunities. We like the fact that this is a very progressive university. We like the fact that intellectual property means something in Malaysia as opposed to certain other countries in the region. And so, you know, through a series of analysis that we've done, we've kind of focused on Malaysia as our entree to the Pacific Rim.
Yeah. What has made Stevens look at the Pacific Rim itself? Why are you looking out? I'm sure you have enough activities going on within the U.S.
As a university, that's right. But entrepreneurship is one of the true activities that we are focused on. And so we have a number of startups, technology startups that we see as having a great opportunity in the Pacific Rim. And we are in discussions right now with UKM researchers, with the Malaysian government, to look at ways of bringing that technology to Malaysia as an entree for those businesses to reach the Pacific market. If you look at the analytical instrument business as an example, and we have a technology that is very, very special in that area, a new, very low-cost mass spectrometer that can be used for homeland security or quality control. It can be used in medical diagnostics. That will be an area that UKM and Stevens will collaborate on and probably manufacture here. And use this as our distribution route for the Pacific. So, you know, there are business aspects of this enterprise development strategy that we have that have led us to the conclusion that UKM and Malaysia is the right partner.
Any other comments you'd like to make?
Well, I would like to congratulate the foresight of Tantri Sharifa. She has developed, I think, a very progressive strategy. I think the implementation of academic entrepreneurship is indeed unique, and I think she has become a student of you know, the successes and failures in the United States, and has really been a very thoughtful leader in terms of guiding the university toward a strategy that can prepare its students very successfully for the 21st century. And that is, I think, unique in this time. Okay, most universities are still, you know, or focusing, I should say, on, you know, straight education, and I think that the concepts here are really being adopted in terms of experiential use of startups and the academic entrepreneurship that will drive the engine of the economy in the future.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Nice meeting you.